How's it going, everyone? King Blacktooth here again, and I'm going to count down the strongest cards to come out of Gamescom 2016 so far for Gwent the Witcher card game. Now I'm going to attempt to put these in the order of their strength, but that's pretty difficult to do, and feel free to discuss in the comments if you think I'm wrong, or if you think the order should be different. Number 8. So firstly, we've got a card which other people have said is not too great, but it's just so damn interesting to me that it makes me want to play Northern Realms. It's the Dune banner Heavy Cavalry. It's a Northern Realms troop card which is 6 strength on the siege row, so you can have 3 of these in your deck as well. And it's the ability that makes it so interesting to me. It's got the Promote Rising Star ability. And what this does is when you play this card, at the end of your next turn it will promote itself to a hero. So your opponent basically has one turn to choose whether to deal with this card before it turns itself into a hero and can no longer be affected. So 6 strength is not necessarily a high priority target. The opponent might let it slide. However, if you put down like a Commander's Horn or maybe an Encourage before you play this card, when you place it down it will be easily 16-20 strength, which is a much more high priority target. The opponent will probably want to get rid of 20 strength before it turns into a hero. And what that does is makes the opponent play very proactively with their Scorches or their weather cards to try and deal with this before it turns into something they can't deal with. And what's so really good with this is because you can have 3 in your deck, they can't wait until you've placed all 3 out in order to Scorch them or something like that. Because once you place one out, they've got to deal with it then and there. And then if you place another one out, you know, they've got to keep using Scorches or keep using weather effects to deal with it. And so hopefully you've got clear weathers in your hand ready to deal with it. Now if they do happen to torrential rain it after you've placed it down, that's probably the worst thing that could happen, because you don't get a chance to react before it turns itself to a bad hero. It will be a 1 strength hero. However, if you've got Commander's Horns and Encourages on the board, like I said, instead of 20 it would still be 10 strength, so it's still reasonable through weather effects, and Scorches, you want them to scorch it really. Number 7. John the Talis. He's just a very good all-around hero for Northern Realms only, however. 10 strength on the melee row, and he has a really nice ability which just works well with pretty much any Northern Realms deck that I can see. It's got the Encourage Rally ability, which gives +2 strength to all non-hero units on your side of the board. They're really good if you're getting into a very contested, heated round. It will just give +2 strength to loads of people. And Encourage goes on the top of Bond, so it won't exponentially get higher, but it does go underneath Commander's Horns. So for every 2 that is Commander's Horns, it actually counts as 4. So really, really good. And it's just in strength terms, he's 10 himself, and then he's probably going to have, I'd say, what, at least 3 to 5 people on the board, probably more if you really contested in this round. So that's at least 20 strength that he's worth, and that, in my opinion, just makes him a really, really powerful card to have. But the reason he's so high on the list is because I think he's very good, but he's an all-around kind of hero. I don't think he's going to dramatically change the play of the game with the one card. So still very good though. Number 6. So Camby is got to be in this list because it's just so weird. It's one of the craziest cards and really very powerful. It's a 3 strength Skellig hero. It's a disloyal one, so you're playing it on the opponent's side of the board, and it goes on the siege row. It's got the ability Ragnarok, which is a countdown timer. 3 turns left to play in this card. It will spawn Hemdall, 15 strength hero, on the opponent's side of the board. So you're giving the opponent basically 3 strength for now and then 15 strength later. But this will get removed when Hemdall comes onto the board. But it removes all glyphs and all non-hero unit cards from the board. Okay, so that is including your side. So it just completely wipes the board of all non-heroes and glyphs. This is the only thing that can remove glyphs so far. Now, it's just so crazy that you could wipe the board with this one card. It's really going to make the opponent pass, probably, when you play this card. And it's such a strong card in that respect. Now, the reason it's still, generally in the middle of the list is because you have to wait 3 turns. It is going to be kind of an awkward one to play. You want to plan for this. You want to stick out heroes in the first few turns. Death Wish would be good. Any spies that you've got would be good, because then they would get wiped from the board, not giving the opponent any strength at all. But I mean, it's still an awkward one to play, and I think, you know, it's a bit odd, so I couldn't put it any higher, but it is definitely a really fucking powerful card. Number 5. I've got a duo of cards in this particular slot. We've got the Scoia'tael Neophyte on the siege row, and they have Karen Smuggler on the ranged row. And apart from those particular row differences, they're identical cards, so I kept them on the same slot. So they're both Scoia'tael only troop cards, so you can have 3 of each of these cards, so 6 cards of this type so far. I wouldn't be surprised if a melee one comes out in the future. They're 2 strength each, and they all have the Power Absorber ability. And this ability is what makes them so strong. Passively, this card gains +4 strength anytime anyone plays a special card. 4 strength is quite a lot, and special cards are your Biting Frost, your Fog, your Rain, your Scorch, your Epidemic, your Commander's Horn, your Mushrooms, your Decoys, Nature's Gift, your White Frost, your Skellig Storm. There's a lot. I've probably even missed some more, but there's a lot of special cards in the game. So just as a general gameplay, even if there wasn't anything else apart from this, I think these guides will still be worth it. A lot of special cards get played during one particular match. Now, not only that, Scoia'tael are starting to really focus on special cards. They've got like a whole deck archetype which focuses around special cards. So these guys are really going to ramp up very quickly. And the fact that you can have like about 6 of them on the field, they are going to go up very quickly. So they're very strong. They're going to combo with a card later on as well. Number 4. So Eggless. This is a Scoia'tael only hero card. 2 strength on the siege row. And to be honest, this card is only going to be put in your deck and take up a hero slot for its flexibility. It's really quite strong in that respect. Its ability is Will of the Forest, apparently. When played, spawn a special card of your choice and play it instantly. So it spawns the special card, so you don't have to have it in your deck. That's really important. And it's just got such flexibility. Forget about the strength, what row it's on, you know, the fact that it takes a hero slot. It's just about the flexibility. If you need a decoy, it's a decoy. If you need a scorch, it's a scorch. You need a weather, it's a weather. If you need clear weather, it's a clear weather. It's just so flexible. You know, special cards can turn the tide of an entire game, and this card can be any one of those. It's even better than Dagon, the leader card, because that can only do the 4 weathers, Frost, Fog, Rain and Clear, where this can just be anything. Commander's Horn, Mushrooms, Fog, Scorch, Biting Frost, Rain, you know, just so much stuff. It just makes it such a flexible card, and hopefully it would win you a lot of games if used correctly. Number 3. The Grave Hag. So it's nice to see monsters having such a powerful card in this particular list, but this is a monster character card, 0 strength on the ranged row, and it's its ability that makes it so powerful. And it's very unique to this card at the moment, although I think we saw some troop card, maybe vampires I think it was, that had this ability, so it might be a slightly worse version of this. So the Corpse Eater ability. When played, banish units from your own graveyard and give +2 strength to this card for every one that was banished. So this is going to be really good on round 3. It's just going to skyrocket in strength. And we have seen it in footage. You get to choose what to banish and what not to banish if, say, you've got any medics. Monsters don't really have many medic cards yet. They can have the Bloody Baron would work, but that's a hero card, not really worth it in my opinion. So banishing your cards on round 3 is okay, and you get to choose. So if you really want those Foglets to come back out, which you wouldn't because this is on the ranged row, then you know you can choose not to banish something if you want. However, she gains +2 strength, so there's a lot of cards on round 3 that you've used. Hopefully you've used your Wild Hunt Riders, that's 3 cards. You've got your Ancient Foglets, that's another 3 cards possibly. You've got 3 Foglets that I think generally are 2 strength on their own. And you don't want a Fog to come out because it would ruin this card. So that's 9 cards altogether, with only actually playing 2 cards in the game. You might have some Wild Hunt Warriors that you can't pull out again. You know, you can banish heroes as well, I think. So this card is just going to easily get up to like 16 strength and maybe even higher. Another Commander's Horn, you got a nice 30 odd strength on the board. So really powerful card for round 3 swarm decks to just completely surprise your opponent with a huge amount of strength. Number 2. The Free Head Officer is a Scoia'tael troop card. Now, being a troop card is a big deal because that means you can have 3 of these in your deck, and the ability is so powerful that you're going to want to have 3 of these in your deck. They're 4 strength with agile, so they can be placed on melee, ranged or siege, and it has the swap ability. So if you've been paying attention to Gwent at all, this is the only card we've ever seen, and so far still the only card that has the swap ability. And we've had the Skellig leader card, Anya, for so long that she could change any non-hero unit card with the swap ability into an 8 strength Dolbloflana archer for so long, but we had no cards which had swap, so we didn't know how good it was. But this card is really seriously good. The swap ability. When played, return a loyal non-hero unit card from the battlefield back into your hand and place this card in its stead. You cannot replace units which already have the swap ability. So, effectively this card is a decoy with 4 strength. So a decoy is a special card where you pick a card up off the battlefield that's non-hero and place it in its stead. Now decoys are really good for stalling the game. Say if you've got 7 cards in your hand, if you place a decoy, obviously you go down to 6, but then you pick 1 card back up that you're just replacing it with, and so you still got 7. So you get to keep card advantage and you throw the game back into the opponent's ballpark. So they're really good for stalling the game and trying to make the opponent lose cards, waste cards, and run out of cards. So decoys are really good for that. Not only that, you get to pick up cards that are non-hero. So any card with abilities you can reuse. You could reuse Sarah, who does clear weather. You can place her down, decoy her with a Vreehead officer, and then replay the clear weather later. You can do Commander's Horns with Dandelion, for example. You've got Scorches with some of the dragons. You've got medics that you could pull some out of the graveyard, decoy it up with Vreehead officer, stall the game, and then reuse the medic later. So really, really good card. You're going to really be able to stall the game heavily as Skellig with this card. It's going to be amazing. You can have like 6 decoys in your deck with 3 of these and 3 decoys, and your opponent's going to definitely have to pass if they're fighting someone who does this strategy. Really powerful card. Number 1. So number 1 is a card which I think a lot of people have been saying that is very, very powerful. I think it might get changed in the future to become a spy rather than a loyal card. But it is the Alvin Mercenary. This is a Skellig only troop card. And again, it's a troop card, so you can have 3 of these in your deck. So really, really effective. 2 strength, can be placed on melee or range. Always nice, but not important right now. And it has the ability to play a random special card from your deck. Now, that doesn't sound too impressive. You know, it could be anything. Whatever you've got in your deck, you probably want to build your deck around focusing on these things. You know, don't put too many Scorches in if you put in these in, because you don't want to Scorch at the wrong time. Or alternatively, do put Scorches in, but only play these when you know you want to Scorch. But the main reason this is number 1 on the list is that you can stall the game for like nearly ever. You can stall the game for ages with this card if you get the right scenario playing out. Now, in order to do this, you really should build your deck with, I would say, either only decoys as your special cards or decoys and nature's gifts, just to be sure that you're going to pull out what you want. Because you place this card onto the battlefield and it plays a special card from your deck. Then if it's a decoy, you just pick this lady straight back up again. And there you go. You've stalled the game for 1 turn. You place her down again. Oh, it pulls another decoy out of the deck. You just decoy her back up again. There you go. You've stalled for another turn. Play her again. Oh, you pulled your 3rd decoy out of your deck. Just going to pick her straight back up again. Oh, look, you've stalled the game for another turn. So you're going to stall really easily. Now, Nature's Gift it means you can be a bit more flexible in the deck, but it also means if the opponent sees you doing this strategy, they could play a weather card, and then if you pull a Nature's Gift out of your deck, then it's just going to be another weather card and wasted. So it allows some more flexibility, but also, you know, it can screw up the stalling tactic. But it's just such a strong tactic, really. The only thing this card has going for it is that tactic at the moment, in my opinion. It allows you to stall using cards that you don't even have in your hand. You stall using the cards that are still in your deck. So it's such a good strategy to stall. As you can see, a lot of Skellig cards have been about stalling. And don't forget, anytime you play a special card from your deck, you are bumping up the Scoia'tael, Neophyte, and the Havkar and Healer with +4 strength every time. So there's a huge combo potential for this card using those previous cards and the stall potential. It's just going to be such a powerful card. I wouldn't be surprised if they change it to a spy to stop that reuse of decoy happening. Because if it's the spy, it plays on the opponent's side and they can decoy it up, but you can't stall for tons and tons and tons of time. Not to mention, if you're building your deck just to have decoys and maybe Nature's Gifts in, then you can use that Eggless card that we saw earlier, Hero, which spawns a special card. So it gives you added flexibility for Scorches and Commander's Horns that you wouldn't normally have in your deck. So thanks for watching, everyone. I've been King Blacktooth. Let me know if you would change the order, put different cards in. You think some of my things are wrong. You don't consider them very, very strong at all. But I do thank you for watching, and I hope you take care of yourself, and I will see you very soon.